The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Looking at a lesser windy day, we'll still have a nice little cool breeze about with temperatures rising out of the 40s and into the 50s later on. We have warmer weather coming our way. We'll have a complete look at your forecast coming up.
Also coming up this Sunday morning on DC News Now, storm devastation from the south to the Midwest. Widespread damage from whipping winds and pounding rain. We're going to take you to the ground as the cleanup begins across several states. We'll also give you a look at some of the damage right here in the DMV. Also, Trump troubles. We are at the start of what's shaping up to be a very controversial week in America, as for the very first time, a former president faces a judge on felony charges. What that'll all look like as Donald Trump prepares to turn himself into authorities. And later on, not your average gym, how this gold medalist went from the Olympics to opening up her second gymnastics academy right here in the DMV. Jimmy Alexander will join us live in the studio for that. But first, we're going to take you live outside of I-70 West up there in Western Maryland. It is the pick of the weekend, as the screen says up there, because it's sunny outside, certainly not as windy as it was yesterday, but it also isn't as warm as it was yesterday. Derek Bowen joining us there from the Weather Center. Derek, good morning to you. How are the temperatures outside looking? Temperatures
are looking okay. We're into the 40s throughout most locations, some 30s here and there, but we had a little bit of storm damage here and there. We had some few down trees, power lines about the DMV. We even had on towards the eastern shore a report of a tornado and maybe a funnel cloud or two with those storms yesterday that blew on through across Delaware, that is. We're looking at, of course, things here relatively a little bit quieter. We did have some strong winds, though. We even still have some power outages at this current time. Most of that is coming out of Fairfax County. But I will say, coming into work this morning, getting off the 495, going on to the Parkway, we're still looking at, of course, on the Maryland side, we saw some trees down, so we do have that to contend with, so be careful out there. Hopefully they'll get all that cleared up by the time Monday rolls around. We'll have temperatures bouncing back up into the 70s then, but we're starting relatively cool this morning. Temperatures are into the 40s.
All right, that is Derek Bowen there from the Weather Center. Derek, thanks so much. Well, the DMV is picking up the pieces this morning after severe winds blasted through the area. We have 4 different videos up here, some photos as well, showing you all of the different types of effects that this gusty weather affected us with yesterday, from down trees to turbulent skies. One viewer, take a look, sent us this video of a Delta flight all the way up there on your screen that was forced to do a go-around, essentially a try again because it was too windy as the aircraft was landing at Reagan National Airport. And while wind was the top concern of the day, more video sent into our newsroom shows actual hail falling in Silver Spring, Maryland. The severe wind left behind a trail of damage in Prince George's and Montgomery counties. The bottom left photo you see there, provided by the Prince George's County Fire Department, is of a tree that fell onto a house in Landover. Thankfully, no one was home at the time and there were no injuries. Now take a look at the bottom right video. Crews have already started clearing a huge branch that fell right on top of a power line. As of this morning, electricity has been restored to that area, but of course, all of this is minor compared to other parts of the country that are just starting to bounce back from the worst of this same exact violent storm.
Right now for me is just to clean up what I can and then get this cleared and then try to see who else I can help.
Yeah, communities in Arkansas are coming together to rebuild following Friday night's monster storms. Confirmed or suspected tornadoes have been reported in at least 8 states. At this time, at least 26 people have been killed across the South and the Midwest. People in both regions say they are stunned by the scope of the damage. Though through all of the devastating destruction we've shown you, there are also stories of survival. Following an absolute nightmare comes a tale of resilience and bravery for one woman who was pulled from the debris and a man who watched his family being saved right from across the street. Shelby Riley with our sister station in Indiana has that story.
The destruction came to Crawford County, Illinois, completely destroying the home of Jo Ellen Russell, who's lived in Robinson for the past 7 years.
It was close, and I knew it was close, and I called the boys downstairs before it was real close. I said, you guys need to get downstairs with me, and then it just excelled very quickly after that.
Russell was pulled from underneath the pieces of what used to be her home with the help of first responders.
And then I heard a loud roar, and I'm like, basement, guys. And like I said, I have the broken hip, and I don't even know how I got down the stairs and didn't get hurt.
Not too far away was Paul Stouse. He says he went down to his basement at 9:06 p.m. on Friday night. By the time he came back up at 9:26, just 20 minutes later, his house was destroyed.
I went to the basement. I sat down on the steps. I heard something go thump. About 3 or 5 minutes later, I heard crashing and crumbling. I smelled pine, roofing, and insulation, and I told somebody that my house was gone.
His first instinct after leaving his basement was to make sure his family was safe across the street.
She and her 2 sons were in the basement. Fire department was trying to find them. They didn't know how to find the basement.
Stouse was able to help first responders find the basement, leading to their safety and survival.
Being across the street, I said, I think it's back here. And they heard them knocking and brought them out. It's phenomenal the amount of people that have called me and reached out. Amazing outpour of support.
And that devastation, that story there, just one of many. Take a look at some of the images coming in from the Southwest and from the Midwest regions. If it seems like the United States is an epicenter for catastrophic weather, that's because it is. And the country's geography has a lot to do with it. Experts say the United States gets hit by stronger, costlier, and more frequent extreme weather than anywhere else on Earth. Not only does the U.S. have 2 oceans, mountains, the jet stream, and climate change, that are all contributing to nasty weather. Experts also say it's where we choose to build houses. They say many houses in the country are built in unsustainable areas where developers already know that disasters will happen frequently. We'll have more coverage on all of this coming up in the next half hour. Well, new this morning, one person is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries following a crash on Norbeck Road in Montgomery County. This happened last night. Officials say it was a nearly head-on collision, and one car ended up dangling over a bridge, as you see there. 2 people were trapped in their vehicles. In addition to the person currently in critical condition, one other person was brought to the hospital with minor injuries. Also developing now, police are on the lookout for a man who opened fire inside of a grocery store. This happened in Forestville, Maryland, at that Shoppers up on your screen. So far, no injuries have been reported. Prince George's County police say the gunman drove away in a blue sedan. Your time now 8:06 in what is by far going to be the biggest story of the week. Former President Donald Trump is expected to surrender to the Manhattan District Attorney's Office on Tuesday. Late last week, Trump made history when he was indicted, the first former commander-in-chief to ever face felony charges. Our sister station, Pix 11 in New York City, breaks down what we know so far about the case.
The indictment remains sealed. Could there be a curveball or two when it's unsealed? Yes, but we know this for sure. It all stems from hush money paid to a porn star. It predates Donald Trump's presidency. Prosecutors will allege just days before the 2016 election, Trump's then attorney Michael Cohen made a $130,000 payment to porn star Stormy Daniels. It was to silence Daniels from going public about an alleged affair with Trump a decade earlier. Mr. Trump has always denied the affair, and he denies he had knowledge of the payment. Hush money payments aren't illegal. But falsifying business records is illegal. Manhattan prosecutor Alvin Bragg and his attorneys will try to prove Mr. Trump did just that. But that in itself would only be a misdemeanor offense. The Associated Press reports there is a felony charge in the 30-plus count indictment. It's likely prosecutors will tie the misdemeanor falsifying business records charge to the intention of committing another crime, in this case violating campaign finance laws. If that link can be established, it would be a felony with a sentence punishable by 1 to 4 years behind bars. To prove the case, prosecutors would need to show Mr. Trump intended to commit a crime. Trump's legal team maintains the indictment against him is purely political, and they predict a big win in court.
This will backfire because we're going to win this case. We will humiliate them.
This is the first time in history an American president has ever faced criminal charges. Mr. Trump has said he's going to continue running for president. Can he do that legally? In a word, yes. In the newsroom, I'm John Muller.
All right, let's take you up to Leesburg, Virginia now, where the Ride to End Alzheimer's got off to a great start yesterday. It was a party in the streets with people dancing, including volunteer Janae Wheeler. She says her family is no stranger to the disease, and she's glad this event can bring attention to something that the Alzheimer's Association says affects 6 million Americans.
Both of my grandparents developed Alzheimer's. It's something that's really close and dear to our family. And so having an organization that's drawing awareness in such a fun way is a very, very near and dear piece for VBS to be able to be part of.
Yeah, the Alzheimer's Ride will take place on May 7th, and that's where we come in, guys. We want to invite you to join the DC News Now team as we ride to end Alzheimer's this upcoming May 7th. Our newsroom is the official media sponsor, and the entire team is committed to helping promote research efforts and awareness. We would love to see you there. You can sign up by using the QR code right there on your screen. Well, we also want to take a moment to remind you of the road closures and potential gridlock that might wreak havoc on where you're trying to get to today. That is because of the Cherry Blossom 10-mile run, which is currently underway. The event started at 6 a.m. It goes on until noon. Some streets that are shut down include Memorial Bridge, Rock Creek Parkway, south of Virginia Avenue, West and East Basin Drive. Just avoid the Tidal Basin altogether with a car. Just walk there or take a metro there. Along with 15th Street from Constitution Avenue to Independence Avenue, so a big stretch across the National Mall. The closures are expected to end at 12 p.m. But being outside, that should be the least of our worries today because it's going to be absolutely beautiful, Derek.
That it will be. We have a little bit of a chill this morning, but things will warm up as we head throughout the day. We're looking at temperatures to rise into the 50s, if not 60s for some. Those winds are quietening down, even across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. There's no restrictions there on the highway going eastbound or westbound. We do have those winds at around 25 to 35 miles per hour over there, but all in all, we are seeing those winds calming down a bit for today. We'll have temperatures, though, warming up as we head into the week.